we are going to be formatting a spreadsheet for a company called Party Planning Plus. When you open an Excel document, notice that the columns are labeled by letters and the rows are labeled by numbers. A column letter and a row number make up a cell. The first thing that we are going to do today is to format the title. The title is in cell A1 and it's called Party Planning Plus Supplies. So we're going to click inside of cell A1 and we are going to hold our mouse down and drag over to cell F1 and we're going to do something that's called merge and center. When we merge and center, it joins the cells together and it also centers our text. So that cell becomes one big cell now. The next thing we're going to do is change the font to Bernard MT Condensed. And we're also going to change the font size to make the font stand out a little bit more. Next, we are going to change the font color. We're going to do a dark blue color. And we're going to change the background color of the cell by using the fill color option. It looks like a paint bucket. And we're going to do a light color blue. Next, we are going to format the row heading. So we're going to click inside of cell A2. And this time we are going to select Bernard MT Condensed, but we're going to use the 12-point font. We're going to use something called the Format Painter in order to copy the formatting over to cell B2. So make sure that A2 is selected. Click on the Format Painter button and notice the green moving lines around the rectangle. And then we're going to click inside of cell B2. It essentially paints the formatting into the next cell. We're going to use that same process to format the words average, max, and min. So make sure B2 is selected. Click on Format Painter. You're going to click inside of cell C9, hold the mouse down, and drag over to paint all three words. And notice the formatting changes of the words average, maximum, and minimum. On our spreadsheet, we already had the rental prices put in for the different sections. We're going to put in the rental prices for our tables. So go to cell B4. In cell B4, type 7. So it costs $7 to rent the table. In cell B5, we're going to type $7.50. In cell B6, this table costs $72 to rent, so type 72. In B7, we're going to type 12. And then in B8, we are going to type 10. So in Excel, you can format the numbers based on what your needs are. So we can format our numbers to be currency, accounting, we can format it to be a percentage, fraction, etc. So we are going to format all of the rental prices on our spreadsheet. So in order to select the numbers, we are going to click inside of cell B4 and drag down to B8. And then we are going to click on the drop down button in our numbers group, and we're going to choose the currency formatting. So if you want to be able to format more than one group of cells that are not next to each other at the same time, you can select the first group of cells, so B12, and hold your mouse down and select to B16. Hold down the control key and then scroll down. We're still holding the control key. You can let go of your mouse and then click inside of cell B20 and drag down to B24. You're still holding the control key, let go of the mouse, and then scroll down and click inside of cell B28 all the way to B32. Now you can let go of the mouse and the control key, and we're going to go back up to the number styles group, and we're going to choose currency. So it'll automatically format our numbers for us. If you have a hard time using the control key, you can still go back and select the numbers in each group individually and do your number style. Next, we're going to find the average cost to rent our tables at our business. So click inside of cell C10, and we are going to use what's called a function. A function is built into Excel already, and it creates formulas for us that calculates amounts on our spreadsheet. So Excel is great because you don't have to use a calculator. It's basically already built in for us. So we're going to go to the Auto Sum drop-down button, and we're going to choose the average option. When we choose average, notice it's going to put an equal sign because all functions and formulas start with equal sign, and then it's going to say average. It's going to tell us it's averaging our numbers, and then we have to select the range that we want to get the average from. So you're going to click inside of cell B4 and drag down to B8, and notice it says equals average, and the range is going to be B4 through B8. So it's going to give us the average cost to rent our tables. After you get that, push enter, and it's going to tell us the average cost to rent our tables is $21.60. Next, we're going to move to maximum. So this time, which option do you think you'll pick? That's correct. We'll pick the maximum option. So that means we're going to find the most expensive table to rent. So this time it's going to be equals max. And remember, we want to select the correct range. So we have to go back to B4, hold your mouse down, and select through B8. Because that's where we want to find the most expensive table. And then push enter. So it tells us the most expensive table is $72. Next, we're going to go to cell E10, and we're going to click on the drop down button, and we're going to find the cheapest table or the least expensive. So we're going to find where it says min, and keep in mind we want to find a minimum of the table, so we have to select the table range. Okay, so we're going to select B4 through B8 again, equals min B4 through B8, and we're going to push enter. Okay, so the neat thing about Excel is once we get our formulas for our functions put in for here, Excel kind of already recognizes that there is a relationship between these functions and the numbers that are above it. And so if we want to, we can copy, so we can select this range. So click inside of cell C10, drag over to E10. You can right click and copy those cells, and then you can scroll down and you can click inside the next set of numbers, right click, and you can paste the functions in. And so then it'll automatically tell you that it's finding the average of these numbers. So it says equals average B12 through B16. So that would be correct. We can do the same thing for the next set of numbers. So we can copy this, right click, copy, and then we can paste in C26, paste, and we can do the same thing for the last set. Paste it in. So Excel will automatically find the correct functions for us and the correct range. Next, we are going to create a chart from our information on our spreadsheet. So we're going to scroll up, and we want to create a chart or a visual representation that shows how much it costs to rent our tables. So we're going to click inside of cell A4, hold your mouse down, and you're going to drag over to cell B8. Next, we are going to go to the Insert tab, and we are going to go to the Charts group. In the Charts group, we are going to choose a 3D clustered column chart. When it comes time to move your chart, you can either click and drag in the white area and move your chart around, or you can choose the Move Chart button to move the chart to a new sheet, for example. So we're going to click on New Sheet, and we're going to name this Rentals. Table Rentals. So when we do this, when I click OK, it'll automatically move my table to its own sheet tab. So we're also going to change the title of this chart. So click inside where it says chart title, and we're going to change it to table rentals. And we're also going to change the chart style, so changing the look of the chart itself. So we're going to click on the More button to change the chart style, and we're going to choose Style 9. Okay. And so it's just a different way to present our information. You can also format the chart by choosing different options like fill or border. You can also choose your different text options for your titles and your axes as well. The next thing that we're going to do is click on the Order 234 tab, and we're going to calculate the estimates for our customer. So whenever we are using Excel, remember I said we don't have to use calculators. Anything that we need to calculate, we can do it directly in Excel. Anytime you want to start a formula, you must use the equal sign. So we're going to type the equal sign, and whenever you are working in Excel, you always want to use cell references. So rather than just typing in price times quantity to figure out the estimate, you would want to type in B4 times C4. So you can either type that in or you can click the cells. That way, if anything inside those cells change, your formula will automatically be updated. So let me show you an example. Let's say that we change our price to $6 or $67. Either way, it'll automatically update our price for us. I'm going to change it back to 7. See how it updates for us? Another great thing about Excel is once we get that first formula put in, if we know that we are going to be multiplying price times quantity again, we can use something that's called fill in order to fill in our formulas. So click inside of cell D4 and drag down to D7. We're going to go up to the fill button and we're going to fill down. So you're going to choose it down because that's the direction you're going in, and it'll automatically fill in the formulas for you. Excel is so smart. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to figure out how much all of this costs with everything added together. So in order to do that, you're going to click inside of cell D8, and all you have to do is go to the auto sum button and push it one time, and it'll automatically bring up the sum function for you. And if you push enter, it'll automatically calculate the total. So it should say equal sum. It automatically finds the range of D4 through D7 for you, and you can just push enter, and it'll tell you that it's going to be equal to $495. Pretty easy, right? The very last thing that we're going to do is we're going to rename our sheet tab. So we're going to right click, and to rename it, we just push rename. We're going to call this one rentals. And here's the bonus. If you are working on a spreadsheet and you have a lot of tabs and you want to be able to maybe organize your tabs a little bit better or figure out which one is which a little bit easier, you can change tab colors and you can color code your tabs. So let's say we want this tab to be purple. We could change it to purple so that when we look at purple, a purple tab, we can automatically know that that's going to be our rentals tab, for example. Okay, nice work. Now we can save our document, and once you're finished, if you're in my class, you can go ahead and turn it in online.